Alright, so here I am today with another Aji Pineapple hot pepper harvest. This Peruvian variety is very prolific. As you can see, I've already harvested 2 Ziploc bags worth of Aji Pineapple hot peppers. And I mean, there's enough peppers in here to why I'd have trouble trying to seal the top. But I had these in the refrigerator. I harvested the first bag 16 days ago, and I've had them in the refrigerator since then. I think I did the second harvest maybe 2 or 3 days after. And here's the plant that I harvested from. So I've only been harvesting from one Aji Pineapple hot pepper plant, and I just want to do this third harvest with y'all 16 days later. So this harvest was from December 14th, the first harvest, and today is December 30th, 2021. So I have a tripod out today to make picking easier. I noticed that with the Aji Pineapple hot peppers, once they're ripe, you can just pull it by the stem and it comes right off that plant with no issue. But you want to make sure the pepper is ripe, and I wouldn't do it with the small stems. I only do it with the larger stems that seem like they can hold their own weight. So I'm gonna just come around this plant. Look, see, that's why I also don't like doing it sometimes, because it takes some of those leaves with it. So another way I do it, that's one way you can do it, or another way is just grab it by the stem and hold the plant by its stem. So pull the pepper by its stem and hold the plant by the branch, and they come out so easily. So you can see I'm gonna probably fill this bag up in no time. So let's try to get some fast picking going on. The first bag I harvested about 355 grams of Aji Pineapple hot peppers. So that was just under a pound. I'm pretty sure with that second bag, it brought it up to way over a pound. I have my scale out today, so we'll get some measurements going on to see how much weight I actually harvested just within a 2-week time span. I haven't been I don't just let the plants grow and leave the peppers on there. I allow them to ripen and then I harvest them. So I have harvested this plant many times this season, and this is just another harvest going on. So there's a wave, it produces peppers in waves. I noticed that the first wave of peppers, I accidentally pulled the underripe pepper off with that. I noticed with the first wave of peppers is always only a few peppers, probably just a handful of peppers that ripen up. But after that initial first wave, the harvest just gets larger and larger throughout the season. So this plant is under a year old, but it's producing as if it was overwintered. So I can only imagine how much peppers I'm gonna get just from overwintering it and harvesting it next season. To overwinter it, we've been having an unusually warm winter, so that's why this plant is still producing very prolifically, because we're just having a very unusual winter going on. So we got so far with plenty more peppers left. So to overwinter it, I'm just going to cover it with some greenhouse plastic. Some people call it visqueen. I guess I think that's a brand, visqueen, but I'm not using the visqueen brand. Plenty peppers all in here. Wow. And like I said, these other 2 bags were in the refrigerator. They've been keeping well. They haven't been losing quality. I noticed that if I leave the peppers out in open air, like on a counter or something, it's a nice size. I noticed that if I leave them on a counter, just in room temperature, the peppers don't fare start to deteriorate after about 2 weeks or so. And I experimented with putting them in the refrigerator, and I realized that they can last well over a month with no loss of quality at all. You can see these are starting to turn yellow now. You can see these darker ones with the anthocyanin coloring, which is from the sunlight shining on it. So I'm gonna lift this branch up, and what do you know, more peppers under there. I noticed that on some of my plants, my Aji pineapple plants, I've been noticing caterpillars eating the peppers. That's on some of my younger plants that I still haven't harvested from. And I'll show those right after I finish with this. You can see I'm just harvesting them by the handful. And you'll get about this many from your first flush, and then your second flush gets larger, and they just get larger. The flushes of peppers just get larger as the season goes on. You can notice I'm only harvesting bright yellow peppers. I'm not harvesting any that's partially yellow. I'm making sure they're completely ripe before I pull them, which ensures that they have the highest nutrient content available. Beautiful peppers. So we have one more left, or a couple more. Where there's one, there's more. So I'm going to do a last check on this plant. It looks like we only got half a bag today. Peppers left on there. If you can, I know it's kind of blending in with the plant, but if you can see it, there's plenty of green peppers on there, especially inside the plant. So here's the third bag. Don't mind those names on there. There was certain varieties that I was supposed to germinate in these bags that I didn't get to. So it's about 2/3 of a bag or so. Here's the other 2 bags. So got the fresh one to the right. Very nice harvest. Let's go check out the other Aji pineapple plants and see what those caterpillars are doing. And then we can weigh the Aji pineapple hot peppers today and see how much has been harvested just from 16 days. So you can see here, these look kind of different because of they look very wide. So that wideness is and you can see the sunlight has been shining on them. It's not sunburn. That wideness is just a certain phenotype. I've been saving seeds from different types of Aji pineapples, looking for the best to see what produces the best kind. You can just see how those are just chunky Aji pineapples, very chunky. So it's unique. You can select for how you want them to look. Here's one that was eaten. I'm actually thinking that animals have been eating them, eating my peppers too. So you can see this plant right here has no ripe peppers. That's because they've been eaten. They had a couple on there. You can see this one has its stem is starting to die. So this one is completely ripe. I actually need to harvest. This has been sitting out for a while. I need to harvest that one. I've been letting them sit on a plant because this is going to be for my personal seed stock, so I can continue selecting phenotypes. You can see the ribs on there. I've been selecting for specifically for those ribs. I want it to look kind of like a pineapple. Since it's called yellow pineapple hot pepper, I want it to look like a hot pepper pineapple. So you can see those ribs on there. A couple of plants. And the zucchini producing back there. that same bag with that aji pineapple, and here's another aji pineapple. You can see it just covered in some young peppers with very distinct ribs. You can see on here, look, something's eating into this one. I can pull this off. And that's been my issue. I've been having caterpillars. They've been enjoying these aji pineapples, and this is actually a pretty one. I'm gonna just leave that on top of the soil. There's another one that was eating. So I've been noticing a few of them that were eaten, but I still have some good ones. And this is what I meant. You for your first flush of peppers, this is the first flush on these plants. You can see there's only like a handful, a little bit more than a handful on these plants. This one is eaten in a green stage. Seems like the caterpillar is preferring these peppers over here. So these must have a sweeter taste to them, I guess. And then back here I have some more aji pineapples, which are producing. And actually, I still haven't checked inside of this little area, which also has some aji pineapples. You can see in my hand. And they're in there definitely hanging out with some real pineapple plants. Have some white jades growing alongside the aji pineapples. And if we look down here, whoa, that's a long one. That's a real long one. It's still a little green, so I'm gonna leave it on there, but that's almost long as my finger. So I certainly have different phenotypes growing. You can see it's just producing, wow, these are just naturally long aji pineapples. I'm loving it. And this one here was eaten into. So we can use this one for a size comparison. Just look at that. I said almost long as my finger. It actually is. It's actually a tad bit longer, just a tad bit. So that's about the size they can reach. This specific phenotype. It might actually be good to eat, but I'm gonna pass on that because I don't know how long it's been sitting out here. But this plant over here is also tall. If you can see how tall it is, you can see the height. And this is his first flush of peppers. So this one is the same age as all these over here. So you can see how small those are. And this one is so tall because it's in this slightly shaded pit right there. You can see behind this grow bag, it's literally sandwiched between a few grow bags, which is causing slight shading on the soil. And it just caused it to grow tall basically, but it's producing flowers. Plenty of peppers. This one actually has more peppers on it than all of the other ones that are of the same age. So I may start considering planting, man, there's ripe peppers all down here. So I'm gonna start harvesting probably tomorrow. I'm gonna get some of those, even some of those little green ones, because there's about 4 ripe ones in here already. They're definitely ready to be harvested, and I don't like them sitting in that soil. Matter of fact, let's pull one right now, and that should kick off the ripening process. You can see this one is definitely ripe, so I pulled it. Not much not many ribs or anything, so I'm gonna just eat this one. But plenty of peppers down there, plenty. You can see the yellow ones, but the greens are hard to see. So that's what I got going on. That's the aji pineapples. And you can see this long one here. This is one of the short ones from the tall plant, but it's still long, and it's actually much longer than all of the other peppers that I harvested from this plant here. So it really does make a big difference. Which peppers you're saving seeds from, and how you're selecting, or what peppers you're selecting seeds from. You can basically create your own pepper, kind of, just from selecting keeping the purebred, but selecting different seed. It's gonna have a similar flavor, of course, but just the look of the pepper is what's gonna really be different. But you can see that's a lot of green peppers on here, and I've gotten about 3 flushes of harvest off this plant right here already. So I can only imagine with the other tall plant how many peppers I'll be able to harvest after the 3rd flush. I'm pretty sure it'll be many more than these 3 bags here, which is always a good thing. So now you see I have my scale out. Let's get this situated. And now I actually have enough peppers to, I'm pretty sure it should be over a pound, so I'm going to take this off of grams and I'm going to set it to pounds and ounces. All right, so this is Aji Pineapple, 3 bags. It's like they're just barely going to fit on there. And I still haven't put this tall one. Let's get that in there. So that's 1 pound, 11.8 ounces. So that's just under 2 pounds of Aji pineapples harvested in 16 days. And obviously I had more ripe peppers out there that I could harvest, but I have to keep them separated from this specific batch, which I'm just basically just planning on eating. And I'm gonna save seed from it to provide seed from it, but I'm mostly just planning on eating these and making hot sauce or juicing them and using the juices to as a fast hot sauce, if you get what I mean. So 1 pound, 11.8 ounces, and let's see what that is in grams. 787 grams. So not bad. Oh, 787. So that's what we have, y'all. 787 grams of Aji pineapple hot peppers. 0.786 kilograms and 1 pound, 11.7 ounces, or 1 pound, 11.8 ounces. Let's try to get, yeah, 11.7. So that's what we got today, December 30th. 2021. See y'all in the next one. If you looking for some hot pepper seeds, especially this prolific variety, has the heat of a cayenne. If you're looking for some seeds from this variety, you know you can get them from. Just contact me and I'll have them ready for you.